Opening bounce from Casey Fields. It'll be Campbell up against Flynn Riley in a crucial game. Both sides trying to sneak into the wild card positions on the Smithies VFL ladder. And today could prove to be decisive as Riley wins it down for the Blues. Hand pass comes out in the direction of Charlson for the Blues, who wins the clearance, kicks it inside the 50. Interesting one-on-one contest there. A push in the back, and it's going to go the way of the Blues to be taken by Granger Barras. So he'll have the first shot at goal within the space of probably 30 seconds. You reckon that was there?
Oh, I think it was probably a 50-50 one. It was certainly a clever mark. Who was that? Adams who took the mark there in defence? I
think it was Fullerton who was in the one-on-one and is standing the mark at the moment, but Granger Barras will have a shot for the first goal of the game. He'll be lining up from 40 metres out, almost directly in front. Hoists it high and hoists it straight through the centre. The Blues get first blood in the first minute off the boot of Granger Barras.
And you're right, Damien, it was Tom Fullerton who was the offending player. Starting back today for the Casey Demons. I haven't seen too much of him playing back. I haven't seen the Casey Demons for probably a month or so. Normally look to see Fullerton playing sort of ruck forward. So that'll be an interesting one, and he's given one away early here. And nice little confidence booster to Denver Granger Barras.
Well, it's interesting. They've got Kempfield and Johnson as a twin-pronged forward attack, the Demons today. And you've got obviously Tom Campbell in the ruck, former Sandy player, of course.
You've also got Harrison Petty. Tom Petty, don't back down. Harrison Petty playing forward. Yes. So, and Kentfield has been playing back as well, now going forward.
Here's an opportunity for Cully. Long shot towards goal, misses to the right. That would have been the perfect response for the Demons. But they zoomed out of the middle there, winning the clearance. They're one behind Carlton, one straight 6. Good crowd in attendance today as well. Obviously a strong Carlton following, particularly in the southeast of Melbourne, about 50 k's southeast of the city. It's a good chance for some of the locals to watch some top quality footy.
Yeah, really nice crowd building up, probably on the back of just some gorgeous weather today. Not a, late July. You don't usually see it this nice, do you?
Boyd finds his target in Riley on the outer side for the Blues. He'll chip it short towards centre wing. We've got quite a few runners in this region. Here's Will Hayes. Kicks it towards right half forward. Levy's against 2. They've double teamed him. I wonder if that's going to be a tactic for much of the day. Howes with the timely fist forces it out.
Well, Howes is often that third player up in the Demons' defence, and once again he was able to fist that ball over the line. Usually takes sort of double-figure marks, does Blake Howes in defence, so I'll keep an eye on him today. He's playing on Sterling Phipps-Parsons.
An interesting matchup, no doubt about that. Laurie getting the clearing kick, but it's only momentary. And Billy Wilson, a man who made his AFL debut a few weeks back against Port Adelaide, takes the mark 70 metres out from goal, goes in towards the pocket. Campbell filling in the hole, takes a good mark. He's got good ground coverage, Tom Campbell, to his game. Can run down and take those filling marks in defence.
Well, quite a tall side today, Melbourne. They've got Tom Campbell and Will Verrill probably playing as their rucks. Fullerton, as I said, can also play that role, but he has started back.
Jed Adams transfers play to right half back. This is Mentha, who's a very speedy customer. Ricky Mentha at right half back. He's got Woden short, Laurie short, but he'll elect to go longer down the line. On the right foot, finds Johnson. Good strong hands, he'll be paid the mark. Advantage paid. Laurie kicks it inside the 50. It's a 2-on-1 in favour of the Blues. It doesn't necessarily matter. Kempfield almost took it. Gives the hand pass off. Big opportunity. Snap around the body coming there for the Demons from Hardy towards goal, but misses to the left. He's a competent goal scorer, Mitch Hardy, as well as being a key ball user in midfield.
Last week he kicked the 4 goals.
Yeah, so he's been, and obviously had that experience at Geelong at VFL level as well.
There's another one who can play in the ruck is Aidan Johnson, just such a competitive player. I actually thought he held that mark, and I was a little surprised that the umpire called an advantage to Casey.
Boyd to Binns, who's called to play on. Jackson Binns rockets a hand pass off to Boyd. In the right back pocket position. Thumps it long towards centre wing. It floats in the air. Riley will be the target. Campbell did well to get to the front spot and got the palm down. The Blues, however, have the numbers at ground level. Levy takes the mark. He's 70 metres out from goal. Looks for Hogg. It's a bit of a hospital pass in the end. A bit difficult for Hogg to win that one-on-one. Mark taken. Oh, geez.
What's happened here?
Big turnover. Smith, the skipper, turning it over for the Demons, and Phipps Parsons takes the mark. So just tried to move it laterally a little bit too quickly. Didn't realise that Phipps Parsons was capable of floating in. This would be the ideal start for the Blues. They've been very effective with their forward entry so far, getting it deep and finding options and creating opportunities through intercepts. Phipps Parsons from 45 metres out. We're right behind this one. It's well timed. It's just touched on the line. Well done from Campbell to get the touch in, and a minor score. So the Blues 1-1, Casey 2 behinds early going. So the Demons just looking to atone. Campbell receiving the kick in there from his teammate in Bonner. Bonner will get it back. Goes long towards Johnson in the one-on-one. Gee, he's so powerful and strong, isn't he? Takes a good mark. Feeds it off. Now the Demons are away. Long kick towards that left half forward position. It was a bit too much carry on the kick towards Petty. They couldn't hold it. We'll have a throw in just inside the attacking 50 for the Demons.
Unusual to see Sam Payer playing as a defender. I know it's his first game for Carlton this year, but we saw him as a premiership forward for Werribee and his local football. He principally plays as a forward, so I'd like to see how Sam Payer goes playing on Harrison Petty.
Here's Johnson. Betwixt between a couple of Blues. Tried to go laterally, but it's intercepted by Boyd. Might come back the other way, though. Good mark taken there. Fullerton filling in the hole. So a big chance here for the Demons. Kicking towards the pocket. Spoiled away there from the intended target in Harrison Petty, and it goes out of play.
It's that time of year, though, isn't it, where you do see some experimentation, particularly in the VFL, with players who are, maybe out of contract or maybe just struggling with their football life at the other end of the ground.
Can give them a new lease on life sometimes. Riley winning it down. Johnson with the hand pass. Quick snap from Cully towards the goal face. Opportunistic as ever, Jai Cully, and he puts through the Demons first. How about that? That was something from nothing out of the stoppage there. And just reward for the Demons. A couple of repeat inside 50 entries, and Cully, who almost kicked a goal earlier in the contest, gets one there.
I thought he may have been given an opportunity at AFL level at some stage, Jai Cully. Big, strong man. I love his courage.
Got great endeavour, doesn't he?
He does. I know he's had his issues and he had his knee problem, and that may have slowed him down just a little bit.
Taken off the ground as well. So 1-2 to 1-1. Even Stevens early going in this contest. Both sides not separated by much on the ladder. Casey won the toss, incidentally, kicking to the right of your screen in this first term. One down there for the Blues by Riley. Off the ground, Boyd coming off that half-back position. Will take the receiving hand pass here. Receiving from Ferranato, of course. One of the inclusions today. Holding the ball, free kick. It's going to go the way of the Blues. It'll be taken by Luke Nelson, the former Coburg player. He's acquitted himself quite well in this Carlton lineup. So congested forward line here. Nelson wheels onto the right. Looks towards Levy.
Oh, well done.
Very good play there from Campbell, floating in from the side. Takes the mark. He's taken a couple of defensive marks today.
Big moments already, the veteran.
Just has that uncanny ability to read the play. Here's Bonner. In pursuit is Harvey, who played well against the Northern Bull Ants, of course, about 6 weeks ago. Here's a chance for Petty coming up the ground. Gives a hand pass off, and now the Demons can traverse around the outer side. Kick long towards half forward, going back with the flight. That's not a bad effort from Mahdi to take the mark, and he's off. Gives it off to Baldy. 45 metres out. Hands it off. Chance for Billings. He's claimed. Spills out. Hayes for the Blues. Couldn't quite take it. Good tackle applied there. Brown was waiting for it to come out. It was a good tackle in the end. Ball up.
They had the ability to move the ball quickly to the Casey Demons. Transition it really well.
Campbell with a quick tap, and the kick across the face of goal from Billings will go towards the opposite pocket. Here's Johnson. Good turn of speed. Gives it off to Woden. Step around the corner. Just misses. And to the right, it's a minor score. So the Demons are 1-3. Carlton 1-1.
Yeah. If Ethan Phillips is playing on Aiden Johnson, Ethan Phillips does like to sort of sag off and play as an interceptor, but Aiden Johnson is so competitive, so Ethan Phillips just needs to make sure he doesn't let Aiden Johnson just outcompete him.
Lucas Camporelli to Phillips. He was in an awkward stance as he got that kick away with a standing start. Probably had more time than he realised. He's kicked it out on the full. So, chance now for the Demons. This is Bonner. Will penetrate it inside the 50. An incisive kick towards the pocket. Off hands. Will Hayes just hacks it out of the congestion with a spiral punt. Lemmy flies. Couldn't take the mark. At the back. Cooper Hamilton on debut for the Blues today. Chips it short. It's a good pass to kick things off for him. And Dane Harvey takes the mark. Look at Benz running. Takes the mark. Open 50 Beckett's. Chips it inside the 50. Looking for Nelson. It just wasn't quite to his advantage in the end. A good repelling mark taken for the Demons there by Kirkwood Scott. He'll go short. And he finds his target in Deacon Smith. Smith to Bonner. They were away there, the Blues, on the transition. Just couldn't quite take advantage. Adams for the Demons. Kick to centre half back. Billings takes the mark. Billings chips it short. Mentha got a good turn of speed. They're working it through the corridor here, the Demons. Here's Cully. Had Baldy as a hand pass option. Elects to chip it inside the 50. On the bounce, Hardy feeds it off. Baldy, quick give. Here's an opportunity with a snap towards goal. It's well off target. That was off the boot there of Ferraro, who's on debut for the Demons today. Of course, coming in from Dingley. He's played a bit for St. Bede's Mentone as well.
They've had some games this year, Casey, where they've been inaccurate. And when I say inaccurate, I mean wildly inaccurate. Games like 8 goals 19 and 7 goals 21 and these sort of numbers. And today they've started with 1-4.
It's not too breezy today either as Charleston kicks it in. Finds his target there in Dozzy. There's a little bit of a breeze out there, but as far as Casey Fields is concerned, nothing like what we've seen when it's severe over the journey. Mark taken by Duffy for the Blues. Goes inbound, Charleston to Monaghan. The Irishman loops it over the top. Ramshaw, the skipper, feeds it to Lucas Camporelli. Left foot kick towards the 50. Looking for Harvey. Spills out the back for Lemmy. Can he pick the ball up? Just inside the line. He's well claimed. Has support. Nelson did well to size up the options, and he lowered the eyes in the process. That's very good play because he could have blazed away very easily. And the mark has been taken by the big man, Flynn Riley.
Well, if Tom Campbell's going to make himself a nuisance in the defensive 50 for the Casey Demons, then Flynn Riley needs to get busy. And he has on this occasion, and a really lovely kick. Was that Luke Nelson you called? It was a superb kick.
Riley from 40 metres out. It's an unconventional approach, but it's effective, and the big man's done it. Flynn Riley kicks his first. They get around him. Well done to him. Big moment in this game early on, and the Blues lead it by 3 points.
He's a big boy, isn't he, Flynn Riley? We see him coming off the ground here. What is he? He'd be 6'9", 206, 207, that sort of number. Playing his footy for Montmorency when he's not here with Carlton.
The northern suburbs, of course, of Melbourne.
Good to see him get involved. He's already taken the 2 marks. Harry Lemmy will have a crack in the ruck here against Will Verrill.
Yes, who's moved into the ruck for the Demons. They've got a tall lineup today. With Lemmy off the ground, it means that effectively Granger Barras will be probably the main tool target for the Blues for this passage anyway. So back in the middle, 2-1 to 1-4. Verrill winning it down for the Demons. Picked up in the end by Lemmy. Did pretty well to remain composed. Trying to barge his way through is Vickery for the Blues. Ran into a brick wall. Cully with a good tackle. And the umpire, in fact, saying that there was a bit of contact over the shoulder. So Vickery will receive the free kick for Carlton. He's at right half back. Just slowing the tempo down after a pretty intense start from both sides. It was a poor kick. Lemmy arrived late to the contest. And Howes taking another intercept mark. That's his forte. He goes into the corridor. Fullerton. Not the tidiest of hand passes to Bonner. He has a second crack at it. Now they can retract back here, the Demons. Truck. That's better. Adams to Woden at right half back. Got out of jail there, Casey. Woden drills at the centre wing. Johnson, good mark. His hands have been superb today.
They have.
Pick number 68 of the draft last year from Werribee, of course. Part of their premiership side last year. Goes short to Bonner. Not the tidiest of kicks, but it works out okay for Woden. Has to retract back to Bonner. Feigns the kick and then goes onto the left. Drives it inside the 50. Where's Kentfield? There he is. Couldn't take the mark. Hardy crumbing the pack. Steps it round the body and puts it through for the Demons. Crafty play from Mitch Hardy, and the Demons regain the lead 2-4 to 2-1 at Casey Fields.
Just a star at this level is Mitch Hardy. Already had the 2 shots on goal. Was able to capitalise. I really like Luca Kentfield's jump at the footy then.
Got a good presence, yeah.
I think they originally drafted him as a forward. He played a little bit forward, obviously had a few issues with not only injury but illness, had pneumonia, I think. Luca Kentfield played a lot of footy back this year and now playing forward again. So I like their forward line. Johnson and Kentfield seem like 2 really competitive players in their forward line. They'll run and jump at the footy.
From memory, I think Luca Kentfield kicked his first goal for the Demons at that very end, the King's birthday weekend against Collingwood last year. So he has a familiarity with that end. Back at the middle, Lemmy maybe slightly got the knockdown. Here's Hayes for the Blues. Gets the kick away laterally. He's had a few of those so far, and he finds a target in Charlson. Will chip it short. Here's Cooper Hamilton, former GWS player. Gives a hand pass back to Charlson. Twisting and turning. Well wrapped up at the end by Cross. Charlson remained composed, but that's good pressure from the Demons. Forcing the Blues wide. Dozzie's hand pass went astray. Well done from Baldy on that occasion.
A little bit nervous, Cooper Hamilton, you can tell. Played a handful of games for GWS.
Across 2 seasons.
Yeah, in the AFL, and now back for his first VFL game.
Social media star as well. One of the great comedic actors, I reckon, in AFL footy. Free kick has been plucked out here by the looks of it, or are they going to recall it?
Yeah. Sometimes you get recalled for a shallow throw. That was actually an inaccurate throw. He threw it too far towards Casey's goal, the boundary umpire.
There's a little bit of a breeze blowing in that direction as well. Hence Casey winning the toss and going to the right in the first quarter. It's nothing significant though. Cully betwixt between 2 Blues. We'll have a ball up on centre wing.
I may have been a little bit hard on Tom Campbell before when I spoke about that goal kicked by the big fella in Flynn Riley. It was actually Will Verrill who was playing on Flynn Riley at the time.
Baldy to Woden. Here's Cross. He's harried over the line there by Will Hayes. We'll have a throw in. A couple of Will Hayes around, of course, the one at Collingwood. And this man, of course, is one of the great legendary horse trainer.
Does he only play on Sundays, Will Hayes? Because I'd imagine he'd be at a major track meet on a Saturday.
He's a massive accumulator of the footy. Lemmy, of course, played for the Bulldogs for a period of time as well earlier in the decade, the 2020s. We'll have a ball up.
Well, he did get drafted.
Yep.
And I don't have the stats on me, but I'm sure he played 1 or 2 games.
They're all winning it down. Here's Menta.
Well done.
Briskly done with the fend off. Drills it towards half forward. And here is the big man, Tommy Campbell. Takes the mark on the 50. He's signalling that he's going to go for home. It's a 50-metre penalty, is it?
Yes, it's against Will Hayes.
Encroaching,
Yeah, ran in the protected area.
So this will be a certain goal, you would think, for the Demons. And they can establish a bit of a 9-point buffer here. So Tom Campbell has done well so far in defence and also in the ruck, and now he can make an impact up forward. He'll kick a gimme goal for the Demons, and they lead it by 9 points. So a good reward there for Casey. Maybe a bit of good fortune in the sense there was an error from a Blues point of view, but they lead it by 9 points. They establish a bit of a buffer as we head towards time on in the first term. It's been a good contest so far, I think, Dan.
It has, but they just look really dangerous every time the ball's gone in 50, Casey. What have they had? 7 scoring shots. I'm just trying to get the inside 50s number here. I'll have it in a moment. But it's fair to say that every time they've gone in, it looks like a scoring opportunity. Whereas at the other end of the ground, Carlton have been picked off at times with Big Campbell getting back and Blake Howes, we know, as an interceptor. Tom Fullerton as well. So Carlton just need to make sure they use the ball really well when they go inside 50.
Campbell wins it down inside 50s in favour of Casey. 9-7 so far. They might get another one here. Laurie drives it inside the 50, trying to burst through the tackle. He's claimed and will have a ball up.
Well, there we go. If they've only had 9 inside 50s and had 7 scoring shots, Carlton's defence really needs to get to work.
It's a good point you make. Petty in front. Couldn't take it on the half volley. Hardy trying to drive his way through. Quick hand pass from Hamilton is okay to Charlson. Kicks it out wide towards centre wing, and Warburton leading out. Takes the mark. Between half back and centre wing, Ollie Warburton. It's called to play on. Pops it up towards centre wing. Well, straight down the throat of Blake Howes. How many intercept marks has he taken? I reckon that's at least 3 so far.
Well, as I said early in the game, he sometimes gets to double figures.
Billings drives it inside the 50. Petty almost. Is he going to get paid the free kick? No, it's going to go the other way to Payer. He's on debut for the Blues today. Former Werribee player.
He's been okay, Payer, as a defender. I wonder if he does go back to local footy, whether he'll play that role as well. He's normally known as a forward. Kicked 17 goals in the game this year, did Sam Payer.
Not bad. It's almost Fred Fanning or Jason Dunstall-esque. If you want to use AFL terminology, is Cully. Billings goes in after the footy. The umpire calls for a ball up. So having a look at the leading possession winners so far, Riley Bonner has 7. He's a designated kicker out of defence. Charlson's got 6 for the Blues. He's been busy early. Yeah,
Boyd at the other end of the ground is Carlton's designated kicker. You'll see him take most of the kickings today.
Kick around the corner for the Blues by Ferranato is okay. Finds a target, and taking it on the chest is Granger Barras, who kicked the first goal of the game in the first minute. And I did say, alongside Harvey, when Lemmy's off the ground, those two are going to be the key figures, focal points up forward.
That was a really good mark, engaged his opponent. I think that was Fullerton again, who's seeing his opponent have a shot for goal, so used his hands to push off and protected the space, and well done to Denver Granger Barras.
Almost directly in front. Will line up from 43 metres out for his second of the quarter. Misses to the right. Just the minor score. 3-4 to 2-2 here at Casey Fields. Been a good clean quarter for the most part. We wanted to bring it back in for the Demons. He's going to go straight down the middle, and why not? Mentha's all on his own. Loose checking from the Blues there. Can't allow him too much latitude. He's a very speedy customer. Kicks towards centre wing. Hits the chest of Spargo. Coming in for his first touch. Goes out wide. Petty all on his lonesome. 57 metres out from goal. Probing kick towards 4-4. Johnson will be the target. It's a 2-on-1 contest. Players milling around Johnson with a good tackle, along with his teammate there in Brown, and we'll have a ball up.
They've struggled to defend the ground so far, Carlton. Easy transition for the Casey Demons from one end to the other.
Here's Cully trying to burst through the pack. Well tackled by Boyd.
I think he's got his confidence up. Cully's had 2 shots on goal and trying to burst through the stoppage again there.
That's what you want to see. Binns couldn't take it. Little kick out of the congestion. Johnson dribbles it towards goal. Something out of nothing. Aidan Johnson puts it through. The Demons have their 4th. They're getting on top at home. Nice dribble kick through for a goal. Well, what have you made of the Blues' defence so far? I reckon that passage of play, too many loose players, even just the transition from coast to coast, I thought was a little bit too easy.
Well, it's not only their back six, it's their whole team defence. It's sort of falling down a little bit at the moment. So, you know, you could probably make some excuses for the back six on occasions when the ball's coming in really easily and quickly without any genuine pressure. But on that occasion, it was Aidan Johnson who was able to scramble a goal, and we saw Jai Cully kick one earlier from a stoppage. So they've conceded 2 goals from inside 50 stoppages. They'll be really disappointed with that as well.
On 2 occasions, we have Mentha and also Petty all on their own, taking uncontested marks. So 4-4 to 2-2 in favour of the Demons. Whistle off the play. And a free kick's going to go the way of the Blues. Might have been an infringement, centre square infringement, or is it going the other way? No, it's going to go to the Blues. Riley drives it long inside the 50. Where are the targets? Adams couldn't quite take the mark, did well to apply the tackle on Hamilton, and we'll have a ball up. Of course, Carlton wearing the orange socks to mark Carlton respects. We saw the AFL side wearing orange themed Guernseys as well. Raise awareness, domestic violence, and curbing that issue throughout society. Billings with the hand pass back to Adams. Pops it up high. Brown in the one-on-one. That's a good mark at the back from Vickery. So Cooper Vickery. Got a couple of Coopers out there today. The Blue Baggers. Vickery 65 metres out from goal. Hoists it high in towards the pocket. Just too much tall timber for the Demons. Campbell, an uncontested mark.
Defensive 50 marks. A big number for Casey's at the moment.
No doubt about that. Bonner gives it back. Truck. Oh, gee. An error, and the boundary umpire goes down. And all of that, he still was able to make the call, and good on him as well. Free kick will go the way of Granger Barras.
Even though they've taken a number of intercept marks, they have been a little sloppy at times with their disposal outside of their defensive 50, Casey. And on that occasion, Shrug kicking it out on the full.
Granger Barras wheels round on the right. It's not a bad effort. It's going to drift towards the right, however, and a minor score. So 4-4 to 2-3 here at Casey Fields on the cusp of quarter time. Crowd progressively building up as well, which is good to see. There's a lot at stake for these VFL sides too, given we're heading towards the run home and both sides capable of assuming a wild card spot. Casey are currently in a wild card spot in 10th. The Blues are capable of reaching that mark if they have a good end to the season. Bonner short. This is Baldy. Playing a zigzag approach here, the Demons. Mark taken by Kirkwood Scott from the Sandy Dragons. Drills it low. Hardy. Sweeping hand pass. Bonner tried the slap. The Blues have the numbers now. Camporelli on the counter attack to Hamilton. Now Will Hayes feeds it off. Warburton from 47 metres out. There's no one thought of the play for the Blues. Howes will get back for the Demons and sees it out. And at least for the Blues, they get a bit of an opportunity from a stoppage here.
I think Riley Bonner probably didn't need to slap that ball on. It was in a dangerous area of the ground. Perhaps just take the tackle and maybe reset, get the stoppage.
So a throw in. What can the Blues muster from this 4A forward here? Campbell double palms it down. Binns will get there first for the Blues. Gives the hand pass off. Hayes can't keep it in. And we'll have a throw in just inside the attacking 50 for Carlton. Just in terms of recent form as well, it's been interesting reading for both sides. Blues have won 2 of their last 3, gaining a little bit of confidence. And there's a bit of a blood rule here. I think Will Hayes is coming off by the looks of it, and Dozzy will come on. So yeah, the Blues went down to Brisbane last round by 24 points. They beat Collingwood by 4 points the round before and defeated Port Melbourne by 11 points. They lost to North Melbourne the week before that by a point. So they've been in contests.
Yeah, they're very competitive. I think that's the second loss they had to North Melbourne by less than a goal this year. I remember watching a game earlier in the year at Arden Street. They lost that one by less than a kick.
It was a good Friday. There's a chance now for the Blues. Ferranato getting involved. Dozzy couldn't get boot to ball. Clever hand pass out the back door from Laurie. Sits alight his teammate there in Smith, the skipper. Loops it over the top. Mentha. They share it around. Smith to Billings. Good grab. Works it into the corridor. Spargo's got it. Now they've got a couple of loose players here on the grandstand side. Kirkwood Scott, one of them. Waltzes his way around Hamilton and drills it inside the 50. That was perfect play for the Demons. Champagne footy and Petty on the end of it.
Just got wrong-footed there, did Cooper Hamilton, and was unable to defend that kick in by Kirkwood Scott, who's had some nice moments.
Certainly has. So Harrison Petty has played the 14 games at AFL level this season. Can line up here. The Demons 5th. He's taken a couple of good marks already on the lead. From 45 metres out. Petty pops it through for the Demons. Lovely kick off the boots. Well done, Harrison Petty. And they get around him, and rightly so. So the Demons now out to a 19-point advantage.
33 marks in this game to Casey and 16 to Carlton. They've just been able to chain the ball from defence to attack really quickly, Casey, without too much pressure. Once again, what's this looking here? Only 13 inside 50s. They kick 5-4, so whenever it's going in there, they just can't defend at the moment.
Well, he had a bit of a concussion issue. Harrison Petty, of course, left the field in that match against the Gold Coast a few weeks back after a head knock. We know that's something to keep an eye on with a number of players. So, well done to Harrison Petty to get in the contest, and he's approached it with vigour as well. Braden Fiorini, of course, was the one who unfortunately got him in that contest. So, back in the middle. What can the Blues do to respond here? Cully try and win the clearance for the Demons. A couple of players just picking themselves up. Cully a little bit ginger as he got up. Meantime, Spargo will end up with Baldy here to Billings, who gave it to him initially. He stripped to the footy. Wilson to Charleston for the Blues. Kick out wide. Warburton on the lead. He's been playing a good role on that outer side. Loops the hand pass over the top to Jackson Binns. Driving kick towards the half-forward line. It's going to go straight down the throat of Adams.
That's the tail of the tape, isn't it? Their inside 50 kicks. That's on 2 occasions. Binns has sort of blasted away and found an opposition player.
Bonner back to Howes. That was just inside the field of play as well. Good to see a few Demons flags fluttering in the breeze here at Casey. Smith. They do enjoy chipping the ball around and then waiting for the moment in the corridor where they can go. Bonner. Called to play on. One of the leading possession winners on the ground. Kicks towards Johnson. Great mark. Johnson. Got a good pair of hands, and he drives it long towards Kempfield, his fellow tall forward. Was a little bit rushed the kick in hindsight, and Monaghan sees it over the line.
He was a good player at Werribee, Aidan Johnson, but I just think now that he's in an AFL system, to me, whenever I watch him, he's just improved. And I know he's not an 18 or a 19-year-old, he's a mature age player, but it seems to me he's a better player in an AFL system now.
5-4 to 2-3 on the cusp of quarter time. Is there one more goal in store for the Demons? Blues have the numbers. Ferronato with a hand pass. Now Dozzy with the kick out wide. Levy will be the target and takes a good mark in front of Fullerton. He's done well leading out against him when he's been on the ground.
He's a smart lead, is Harry Lemmy. Probably would like to see him be a better one-on-one player in terms of body use, but he really is a smart lead and can attract the footy.
Kicked 4 goals against the Northern Bull Ants about 5 or 6 weeks ago. It's a good confidence booster for him. So a chance now for the Demons. Drilling it through the middle, Smith. It's not the best of kicks. He's trying to find Petty. Good intercept mark taken. Ethan Phillips. Chips it short to Wilson. Not quite the band from the early 90s.
Yeah, hold on for one more day.
There's the siren. So at quarter time, the KC Demons establishing a handy buffer at home. They lead 5-4-34. The Blues are 2-3-15. And certainly an entertainer. Wins the clearance to Cully. Feeds a hand pass over the top to Hardy. He steps around Wilson with consummate ease. Kicks into the pocket. How about that? Champagne footy. Kempfield on the end of it can line up for a Demons goal within the first minute of this second term.
Nice work by Bailey Laurie there. Put his head over it.
Been smart, hasn't he, so far? That was his 8th touch. Second leading disposal winner on the ground behind Riley Bonner. Luca Kempfield. A lot of upside about this fellow. Right behind him here. 45 metres out. Drifts towards the right. Has it got the carry? It might have been marked. Just inside the field of play. Tom Campbell again. Well, he was proving to be a problem for the Carlton forwards and now for the Carlton defenders. His aerial ability is fantastic. So, loose checky on the goal line. Campbell can run around here, or is he going to go with a bit of a conventional check side? He's gone with the ladder, and he's missed to the near side for him. 5-5 to 2-3. So the Blues let off the hook there.
Well, it's going to be a big job for Flynn Riley, isn't it? Playing mainly suburban footy, and then he's coming in and playing against a, 13-year AFL veteran, and Tom Campbell.
Boy kicking that one all the way to the centre circle. Howes taking another intercept mark. He's been good in that department today. Finds his skipper, Deacon Smith. Kicks towards Kempfield. Couldn't quite take it this time. Boyd's there. Petty tackled over the line. We'll have a throw in just inside the attacking 50 for the D's, so already a couple of repeat inside 50 entries for Casey. Crowd continuing to build up here. It's good to see. Never Carlton and Collingwood play against Casey. There's always a pretty healthy crowd in the VFL. At least at this ground anyway. Laurie to Smith. They retract back. Billings just missed the target with the hand pass there. Looking for Struck. It'll end up with Howes. Chips it towards the 50. Chance for Mentha here. Try and pickpocket his opponent in Vickery. It's over the line and out in the full. Just went off an errant boot there, and I think Mentha will be the recipient by the looks of it. So Mentha chips it short to Billings. Whistle. And is it a downfield free kick here? It is.
I think the Irishman, Matt Duffy, might have given that one away.
And Aiden Johnson will have the chance to kick another. He's already booted a goal. And he's going to have a pretty easy set shot here from 20 out. So just undisciplined play from the Blues defence. Aiden Johnson to extend the lead for his second of the day. 23 metres out. He makes no mistake. Second goal for Johnson. And the Demons out to a very handy 26-point buffer. Well, it's not quite red alert, but it's getting close for the Blues.
And he's had some sort of game, Aiden Johnson. I know I'm a big fan of his. I keep on wrapping him up, but he's kicked the 2 goals, taken the 3 marks, and had the 8 disposals. Been a big presence in this game so far.
Do you have the best hands in the VFL, do you think?
I'm not sure if he's got the best hands. He's certainly one of the most competitive players in the VFL, and that's why I think Melbourne drafted him, just on the back of his pure competitiveness.
Just has supreme marking power as well. Obviously, that was through the agency of a free kick, that goal. Demons up 6-5 to 2-3. What can the Blues muster in response? Campbell winning it down. Dives on top of it. Hamilton tries to get the hand pass away. Cully's there. Comes back to Boyd for the Blues. Loops the hand pass over the top. Bonner is tackled by Hayes. We'll have a secondary ball up in the middle.
You do look at the Carlton backline, though. They're relatively inexperienced. They've got Matt Duffy. They've got Rob Monahan as well, so the 2 Irishmen. They've got Billy Wilson in there. Sam Payer, who we know has played at the level but not played much in defence, so very inexperienced.
No doubt about that. Johnson slipped over. Here's Payer. Chance to get a disposal here. Can't quite pick the ball up. Here's Binns through traffic. Did well with his dexterity. Ferranato. Hand pass stifled there by Johnson. Good tackle over the top. We'll have a ball up. That was from Will Hayes, who's been busy in and under. Ferranato actually the leading disposal winner for the Blues so far with 8. There's been a bevy of Demons players at the top of the list. Free kick has been plucked out. I think it's going to come back to Tommy Campbell. So the veteran's got it. 75 metres out from goal. Driving kick towards full forward. Johnson is against 3 here.
That's a good mark.
He almost managed to pluck it.
He's the guy who needs to stand up. He's their most experienced defender, I believe, Ethan Phillips.
Yep. Played a lot at this level. Phillips goes short to Binns. That's where he's got to set the example. In one-on-ones like that, it just helps to build the confidence of fellow defenders.
He's a very competent mark when the ball comes into 50. Sometimes his disposal or decision-making out of 50 can be a little questionable. Here he is again. He's had some okay moments, this big ruckman, Riley.
Kick out wide, looking there for Warburton. Numbers win out for the Demons, though. Sweeping hand pass from Bonner. Finds Baldy. Loops it over the top to Woden. That's good hands, good linkage. Billings gives it off. Kick around the corner coming there from Cross towards the pocket. Multitude of players around this footy. Riley couldn't get boot to ball. Tackle there from Kempfield in the back, I think, according to the umpire. So Phillips will get the free kick, and it's almost winded a bit from that contest. He was heavily met there on that occasion. Pick himself up very slowly. So a couple of good moments for Phillips in this quarter so far. Reading the footy the better. Kicks down the line. Tall timber there. Riley couldn't take it. Fend off from Granger. Barras was okay. The hand pass missed the mark. He was looking for Hayes, but here's a chance now for Kirkwood Scott. Drills it inside the 50. Over the head of Johnson. Was he pushed in the back? Yes, according to the umpire. So Johnson with a chance to kick his 3rd.
Yeah, it hasn't been a good quarter for Matt Duffy. It's not easy, though, when the ball is coming in like it is, but fortunately he just gave away another free there. So that's, 2 frees in a matter of 3 or 4 minutes to Aidan Johnson against Matt Duffy.
He's a very competent set shot, this man. We're right behind him here. This to give the Demons a 32-point break. For his 3rd goal of the game so far, from 35 metres out, straight through the centre. 3 goals to Aidan Johnson. He's set for a bag the way things are going. And the Demons are set for an avalanche. 7-5 to 2-3 in their favour. Well, it wasn't the most conventional drop punt of all time, but it went pretty straight, didn't it? It was right through the centre.
He is known for the odd mung, Aidan Johnson. But as I said, I just love the way he keeps presenting at the football, and even when he's outnumbered, quite often brings it to ground.
I want to notice too in his warm-up just before the game, he was having a lot of set shots from close range. I know he's that deep forward, but it's interesting, isn't it? I mean, I think players mentally are more confident these days kicking from around that 50-metre arc because the expectation's not as big. Sometimes it's worth having a lot of set shots from close range when the expectation's there to kick it.
Oh, yeah, you've got to practice the 5-foot putts as well as the 20-footers, don't you?
It's a good way to describe it. Secondary ball up in the middle. One down by Riley for the Blues. Here's Campbell with the one hand. Look at the sheer power. Did well to get the hand pass away to Woods. Kirkwood Scott. Here's a chance for Baldy. Drives it inside the 50. Well defended by Payer. Petty with the hand pass towards Johnson. Feeds it off. Here's a big opportunity now for the Demons. They've got another one. Very well done from Jack Ferraro on debut. Kicks his first goal in Casey colours. A monumental moment for him. And the Demons are careering away. So well done to Jack Ferraro, making his debut today. Of course, from St. Bede's, Mentone and Dingley, a big moment for him in VFL colours.
Yeah, he'll never forget that moment. Playing a lot of his footy, looks like half forward, wing. But this is really blowing out for the Blues here. What is it now? I'm not sure if they've actually registered that goal. It's
on the scoreboard, yeah. It's 8-5.
It's 8-5, so it's 38 points. It's blown out so quickly. What was it at quarter time? I think it was 5-2.
Yeah, 5-4 to 2-3.
Okay, so 3 goals in this quarter to the Demons.
So back in the middle, the margin's starting to blow out here at Casey Fields. Well done to Ferraro, kicking his first goal in VFL footy. Free kick is going to be plucked out. It's going to go the way of Baldy. He's winning another clearance. He's been dominating that department in this quarter. Goes long towards full forward. And from the back was Hardy. He couldn't take it. Good mark from Payer in defence on debut for the Blues today. Trying to adapt to a new role. Goes back to Phillips. Now what's happening here? The umpire just looking to clear out the area, making sure that players don't encroach. This is Wilson. Been impressed with Billy Wilson at VFL level this year.
He has. He's actually getting his hands on the ball more. He's starting to have those 20-plus disposal games. He's a really nice kick, and he's got speed.
Woden with the hand pass. Ramshaw's there. Howes on the outside of the boot. That was delicate. Did well to keep that in play. Petty against 2. Spills to ground. Wilson tackled. And it's out of play. How about that from Howes? The opportunistic kick on the outside of the boot.
I've got a feeling Blake Howes isn't very proficient on his left foot, just from seeing that
in
kick.
fairness to him, he was running out of room on the boundary.
But it was actually a smart kick, or a competent kick, to be able to keep it in play.
8-5 to 2-3. Throw in. Campbell out the back. Verrill was in the ruck on that occasion. Good run down. Kirkwood Scott trying to barge his way through, and an errant tackle there.
Well, Harrison Petty was very stiff not to get that first free kick for his chase down tackle on Charlson.
Ramshaw just having a few words to the umpire. I think that was pretty much there, though, wasn't it? Maybe claiming that he accentuated the contact a little bit. So Kirkwood Scott. And who played for the Sandy Dragons last year in their three-peat premiership year at Coates Talent League level. Can line up from 48 metres out. On the runway he goes. It's not a bad effort. And it sneaks home. Lovely kick from Kirkwood Scott. The Demons are on fire at Casey Fields. So it's 9-5 to 2-3, and this is getting out of hand for the Blues.
So I can't remember the ball being in the Carlton 50 this quarter. We're 12 minutes in. It just seems like they've controlled territory, won most of the clearances. Casey, that's 4 goals in this quarter. They've got some guys in there. If you have a look at this midfield now, Spargo was in there before. Bailey Laurie, I've been impressed with his ball-winning ability from clearance today. Baldy has been such an impressive player, VFL listed player. Well, Jack Billings is actually going to have a crack in the middle now.
Former St Kilda high draft pick back in the day. Been an interesting player over the journey, hasn't he? How about his ability? He's had to toil hard at VFL level as well. Now, free kick's been plucked out here. It's going to go the way of the Blues this time. Go the way of Boyd. Very quick to give it off to Ramshaw, the skipper. Left foot kick inside the 50. What can the Blues muster from this foray forward? No mark taken there. The target was ultimately Duffy. He's going into the forward line. Here's a chance for Baldy to clear for the Demons. Sweeps the hand pass out wide. Charlton with the intercept was good. Tries to give it off. Trying to find Harvey. Well done from Smith to pluck it out. Gives it off. Struck. Off right half back. Kick towards centre wing. Spills out to Granger Barras. Has to retract back to Ramshaw, who takes it on the bounce. Ramshaw conceding ground further towards centre wing. Chance now for the Blues through the agency of Dozzy. Now they're looking to go into the corridor. Monaghan, the Irishman, gives it off to Payer on debut for the Blues. Little kick is okay. I'm not sure if it was the intention, but it works out. Bins towards half forward. Good spoil there from Kirkwood Scott to float in. Here's a chance for Smith. Quick give. And eventually Verrill will take the tempo out and kicks it laterally to Adams at left half back.
They'll look to shift the ball if he can, Adams. Change the angles up a bit. Dangerous kick.
Smith couldn't take the mark. Blues have the numbers at ground level here. Dozzy gives it off. Vantage paid for Vickery. He goes short to Lemmy. Now, the umpire coming in to pay that. So, Lemmy, they desperately need a goal, the Blues here. Binns is leading in the pocket. Lemmy claiming there was encroachment.
Actually, I think a free kick is the other way. There's a little bit of confusion here, but I think one of the umpires behind the play has given it to the Casey Demons.
There you go. Adams to Laurie, and now Smith. And now they can stream through the corridor. Mentha. It's an electrifying player, this man. Gives it off. Billings drives it inside the 50. Where's Petty? Payer. Great mark going back with the flight.
He's had some good moments. There's Payer.
He'll get a 50-metre penalty as well, but that's a good way to make an impression. On debut for the Blues today. He's got it at centre field. Bit of a floater towards Lemmy. Well, he fooled them all by not going for the mark. Nelson's at the back. Smith will get there first for the Demons. Gives it off to Laurie. Now they've got space out wide. It's not a very good kick for to Ferraro. Charlson gives it back. Little kick inside the 50. It's all Demons across their half-back line. Good fend off there from Kirkwood Scott. Kicks out wide. Ferraro the target. Good floating mark. That's a good grab there from Phillips, who's come a long way up the field. Now he's going to retract back. I think the Blues just want to get their hands on the footy here, Dan.
I think they should just control it for a minute or two if they can. Take a bit of speed out of the game.
They've got a chance here. Numbers through the corridor. Payer with a good option to Ramshaw. They trail at the moment by 44 points. A bit like that famous deficit in the 1970 Grand Final for the Blues. This is Monaghan. Congested forward line. The Demons have brought numbers back. Lemmy's the deep forward. Monaghan will go in that direction. Where's Lemmy? He's bustled out of the contest. Was he held?
Oh, he's got a free.
Yeah. He was actually shoved to the ground in the process. He might have accentuated the contact, but it was there. And Lemmy this time will have a shot. Adams pleading his case with the umpire, but the decision's not going to be changed. Lemmy to line up from 30 out directly in front.
We see so many of these free kicks now, don't we? Particularly at AFL level, where there's a high ball coming in and intercept mark and a blocking free or contact off the ball free given, and Lemmy, who I've been impressed with, I think he's been a shining light today for the Blues.
And he's got his first for the day. So Lemmy kicks a much-needed goal for Carlton. That's their third for the contest. They're 3-3, Casey at 9-5. Well, he's just got that presence about him when he leads up. The fact that Demons defenders were targeting him and making sure that his run-up to the contest would be stifled. That's the advantage of having a tall key forward like that who's pretty athletic. So could that be a fire starter for the Blues? There's still a long way to go in this game, but Casey have dominated this second term for the most part. Riley Bonner's had 17 touches. Deacon Smith, the skipper, he picked up quite a few in that passage of play, didn't he?
He's
up to 13.
Up, yeah. Yep. Both Bonner and Deacon Smith are big number winners back there in the defensive 50 for Casey.
Both Laurie and Billings have had 11. Ethan Phillips and Ferronato have each had 9 for the Blues. Back in the middle. Harvey now in the ruck for Carlton. One down there by Verrill for the Demons. Kicked by Billings towards centre wing, kind of Brown. Gets the hand pass away in the nick of time. Laurie darting around the traffic and did it well. Cully takes a good mark with conviction. 55 metres out. Looks towards Johnson. Bullet-like pass. Bullet-like accuracy. And Johnson could line up for his fourth. Well, that was a good passage of play from the Demons, and that's an understatement.
This man's the best player on the ground at the moment, Aidan Johnson. But Bailey Laurie as well is not far behind, having a big influence in the midfield.
Be a good response for the Demons. Aidan Johnson for his fourth goal of the game, and we're not even at half-time. And he steers it through. He's on fire, Aidan Johnson, as are the Demons. Margin back out to 44. Well, it was a perfect response just when the Blues looked like they could build a bit of momentum. The Demons respond straight away with a major, like a good team does in that situation, and they're going to be hard to catch.
The clearance numbers in this quarter, Casey, have been exceptional. They were just ahead of Carlton at quarter time, but now it's blown out to a 17-10 lead to Casey in that area.
Having a look at the inside 50 count as well, Dan. Thanks for interesting reading too. 25-16 in favour of the Demons, and as you mentioned, I think in the first 10 to 15 minutes of the quarter, hadn't reached Carlton's forward half. Billings wins the clearance for the Demons again. Quick hand pass from Camporelli to Wilson. Now Charlson. Almost a flick pass out the back door. Camporelli slung as he tried to effect the tackle. Verrill sweeps it over the top. Billings
on here.
Cross, Spargo, they all link up. Spargo all on his own, takes the mark, 45 from home. He's going to take the initiative and maybe have a set shot here. Well, he was probably 10 to 15 metres in the clear, wasn't he? Just too many players on the overlap.
We'll have a look at the Carlton midfield at the next centre clearance. They're relatively inexperienced in terms of AFL experience. I know Will Hayes has been in there. Heath Ramshaw as well, the captain.
So his fair share of injury travails over the journey. Spargo kick to the line is rushed through for a behind. So 10-6 to 3-3 now as we enter time on in the second term. So what can the Blues do to recover here in this deficit? Monahan, good spot up. Taken at centre half back by Granger Barras. Former Box Hill Hawk, of course. This level, it goes out wide to Phillips. And now Will Hayes, who had a very good first quarter. Chips it short over the top. Monahan, they kept on running. The Irishman sizing up the options. Kick down the line, looking for Riley, couldn't quite take the mark. Try and work it forward. The Demons just have too many numbers though. Bonner feeds it back. Kirkwood Scott is at a good quarter. It was an interesting ricochet smother. That came off the shin of his opponent there. That goes out of play. So it was well done from Cooper Hamilton to apply the pressure. Sometimes you just need to be in the right spot and you can affect the smother even if it doesn't look likely. So 10-6 to 3-3. Blues have it in attack here. They desperately need a major. Harvey in the ruck couldn't quite take it. No one can really gain clean possession. Laurie with an attempted tackle. It's all bubbling around here. Howes sweeps the hand pass out. Heard the voice of Kirkwood Scott. That was good communication, almost telepathic. Kick towards Johnson. He was beaten that time by Granger Barras. Gives it back. Monahan. He's got Charlson as an option. Wilson is there as well. Wilson inside the 50 for the Blues. The Demons have got the extra number back. They didn't need it in the end. That was a great mark going back with the flight from Cross. Paddy Cross, who's been capable up forward this season, playing in defence today. He's done it well to Kirkwood Scott, who's had a very good quarter. Bit industrious. Johnson, almost. Couldn't take the mark. He's been a good high flyer leading up the ground. Free kick for a hold. That's going the way of the Blues.
Just wonder if Granger Barras has gone back here. I might have a look at that. Started as a forward, but with the dominance of Johnson and some other Melbourne talls, they have gone back.
Yeah, I think you're right. He was a player who got that kick away. Here's Cully. Picks it up. Wilson. Picks the turnover. Bins almost. Smith did well with the intercept. Gives it off. Spargo to Hardy. Great take with the one hand. That was Kudelai. Bonner.
3-on-1.
Look at this.
Is ridiculous.
Indeed it is. Mark taking. Kempfield will chip it over the top. This is just too easy. Too easy for Campbell, who kicks the open goal. Well, that's symptomatic of the way this half has gone.
Well, I was watching the Carlton defence and their setup when that ball was effectively in their forward line, and their defenders, their starting points were really, really poor. A couple had their hands on their knees, and Melbourne forwards were able to get 15 to 20 metres of space on them. That was just really poor defending by Carlton on that occasion.
Former Frankston star Dan Winkle in commentary with us today. 11-6 to 3-3. Well, it's becoming a bit of an avalanche at the moment, isn't it?
Well, a bit of an avalanche. Is there a maybe tsunami or a similar word? But yeah, they just can't. They just don't have the ability to defend at the moment and put enough pressure on Casey to make them turn the ball over.
So back in the middle, Campbell, who just kicked the last goal, is in the ruck. Got so many tall options, the Demons today. Well done from Riley. He was competitive there in the contest. We'll have a secondary ball up.
So what Carlton have decided to do here is use their winger, which at the moment is Duffy, and he's sort of gone back straight away. So looks like they might just be trying to shore up their defence for the last few minutes of this quarter.
Boyd hacks it towards centre half forward for the Blues. Harvey tries to feed it off to Binns. They desperately need a goal. Can Jackson Binns provide it from 40? No, he can't. He's missed everything. Well, it's just not happening for Carlton at the moment. So Fullerton to bring it back in. Binns, who was rewarded with a call-up for the Blues to the AFL level earlier this year after that game we called against Coburg. A lot of question marks, I suppose, surrounding where he fits at AFL level, if indeed he deserves a spot. It's an interesting, debatable point amongst Carlton supporters. You can make a case either way. Here's House.
About Binns?
Yeah, Jackson Binns.
I just think he needs to be more impactful when he's got the football. Struggled a little bit on occasions today. It's a dangerous kick.
For Cooper Hamilton here. It's tackled by Fullerton. That was a good recovery from Fullerton there. The door slightly ajar for the Blues here as we build up towards half-time at Casey Fields. 51-point margin in favour of the home side. No one can extricate it out. The umpire comes in holding the ball, the call. It's going to go the way of the Demons. So they've been good with their tackling pressure today. Fullerton marks. In the back pocket. Doesn't have to do as much work in this quarter. Just trundles forward. Kicks long towards Johnson in the one-on-one. It drops short of that contest, and Boyd takes the floating mark. Retracts back to Wilson. Got rewarded with an AFL call-up, as I said, a few weeks ago against Port Adelaide. He chips it short. That's a poor kick. Straight down the throat of Smith, who's had a very good quarter for the Demons.
Oh, dear, what's he done here? They're prepared to go lateral here and slow now, Casey.
Howes taking time off the clock. Smith again. Well, I don't mind this, Casey. Just on the cusp of half-time, Smith goes towards Johnson. Oh, even when he doesn't try, he takes the mark. Just got the clean pair of hands. Kicks inside the 50. Kempfield against 2. Couldn't take the mark. Phillips going back with the flight. Here's Spargo. Centering kick is a good one. He lowered the eyes. That was good play. And on the end of it is Woden. They could line up from 38 metres out directly in front. Well done from Charlie Spargo there, man. He's had Achilles issues over the last year or two. He's done well to lower the eyes on a couple of occasions today, and Woden could line up for goal.
You're right. Every time I watch him play a game, he's a very unselfish player, is Charlie Spargo. Almost sometimes you think he's too unselfish. He probably could have gone in and maybe had an opportunity to score then, but gave it to a teammate in a much better position. Well done.
Woden misses to the right, minus score. It's been 25 years since his father Shane, of course, won the Brownlow. It was the same year which Melbourne upset Carlton in the first week of the finals.
Okay. Was it a David Schwartz game or a Gary Lyon game?
Schwartz was more 94. He did play in that game
right,
in 2000.
Right.
But that was when Brad Green and Cameron Bruce and Adam Uze started the last quarter. In from the side, good mark from Riley. I think he'll be paid on the third attempt, the big man.
He's probably lowered his colours today, but he's had some good moments. I think, what's this about his 5th mark? Flynn Riley.
Left foot kick towards our forward, Harvey. Did all the hard work against Adams with the body, just couldn't take the mark. Spills out. Burrowing in there is Bonner. Ball up, and just on Riley Bonner as well, his stats so far. He's had 20 touches, leading all comers easily on the ground.
So at the moment, Carlton with the spare man back, and that's Granger Barras.
Here's Wilson to Hayes. Feigns the hand pass and gives it off. Riley, good dexterity. Tries to give it off to Hogg. He's bustled out of it. Wilson. Hand pass smothered. Charleston did well to get it out to Wilson. He's tackled by Baldy. Did he have Pryor? Umpire said no, it'll be a ball up. Impressive performance for the Demons so far, looking to hold on to that wild card spot as we head towards the last few weeks of the season. Campbell on the outside of the boot to Billings. Quick give is okay. Hardy through the corridor. Kicks laterally into the path of Woden. Didn't bounce obligingly for him, but he darts around and dances around with ease. Kick towards half forward is a poor one, and it's intercepted. Hayes goes out wide. Leading out. Seen Harvey on a number of occasions lead out to that open side. Now short to Wilson. So the tempo just taken out of the game in the last few minutes, Dan.
You're right, the last 4 or 5 minutes, a lot of slow plays, a lot of uncontested marks.
Maybe a bit of conservation of energy because it was played at an intense brand. And the siren sounds for half-time. What a quarter from the Casey Demons. They establish their dominance in this contest and they lead by 52 points at the half. 11-7-73 to Carlton 3-3-21. Join us for the second half in about 10 or so minutes' time from Casey Fields on afl.com.au and the AFL Live official app.
Experience out on the ground, only 8 listed players, and of those 8 listed players, I think it's only Jordan Boyd who leads the way in terms of games played with 38 AFL games. So it's a very inexperienced team compared to what Casey are putting on the park with guys like Spargo and Billings and Tom Campbell and these sort of guys.
Fair point. Dozzy goes out wide. Granger Barras. Got a bit of a shove there from Aidan Johnson, who kicked 4 goals in that first half. But interesting duel. Granger Barras long. Can the Blues start with a flurry here? Riley got the fist in. Here's Cully, who was very good early. Gives a hand pass off. Little kick forward on the left foot by Struck. It's a bit of a fickle bounce. Fisted clear towards Boyd. Slight little fumble. Now the Demons are away on the counter-attack. Here's Petty. Gives a hand pass off. Laurie will chip it short. Good play for the Demons. They've been very good on transition today. Kick short from Struck and finds the target. Leading out this time is Cross, who's playing in the forward line to start this third term.
It was smart play by Petty because he looked up, he saw not a great option, and then he just decided to hold on and run and carry the footy a bit. And then they got the lead up kick and were able to use the ball well. Casey.
So this man has kicked 18 goals for the season so far in the Smithies VFL competition. Pretty versatile player. He can go into defence. We've seen him playing a stint in defence and up the ground earlier in this game. Get himself on the scoreboard here from 48 metres out. It's going to drift towards the right, off hands. Riley gives it off to Boyd on the last line of defence, and the Blues get out of jail. Kick out wide towards right half-back. They're appealing for insufficient intent, and they're going to get it.
Yep, I agree with that decision.
So Cully, 55 metres out from goal. Drills it short to Hardy, and he let out a little bit too easily on that occasion. He could line up from just inside the arc, but it's a pretty acute angle to contend with. He's capable from here, though. It's an interesting one, that insufficient intent rule. Amazing how it's evolved over the years, where they're pretty hot on it, the adjudicators, compared to years past.
I think they've changed the way the rule has been interpreted in terms of the actual words you use. Insufficient intent. You've actually got to try and make a genuine attempt to keep the ball in.
So Hardy, acute angle to contend with here from 43 metres out. Misses to the left. Minor score. So 11-8 to 3-3 here at Casey Fields. A healthy crowd in attendance.
Very healthy crowd. A lot of Carlton fans here and a lot of Carlton senior players here, and autographs being shared at half-time.
Saw Ashton Moore. I've seen Jagger Smith, of course. Was ruled out earlier in the season. In fact, before the start of the season with injury, of course. He was the Blues' top draft pick last year. Here's Charlson. Sweeps the hand pass back towards Dozzy. Here's a chance now for Baldy. Underground hand pass is okay. Hardy just inside the field of play. Kicks it inside the 50. It wasn't the tidiest of kicks. A good mark taken in defence for the Blues by Duffy. Goes short to Charlson. And a very good first quarter for the Blues. It's one of their leading position winners early. Called to move it on. He's got Wilson as a hand pass option. He's going to elect to go short. Finds Duffy again. Drills it into the middle.
He's got that unconventional Irish-style kick, but it's quite effective, isn't it, Duffy?
Correct. Ramshaw's kick inside the 50. Here's a chance. Warburton roaming in and puts it through for the Blues. They needed that. That'll be the understatement of the day. Warburton running into what was somewhat of an open goal with a check side, and he pops it through, so the Blues get the all-important first goal of the third term, and the margin back to 47 points. Well, it was good play from the Blues. They were able to transition it somewhat through the corridor there. Pretty direct play, and Warburton with the conviction to just stroll in. Backed his pace, backed his judgment. And he puts it through. And a couple of good moments earlier in the contest down that outer side of the ground, leading up. So 11-8 to 4-3. Looks like Duffy's on the bench now for the Blues coming off, and also Dossie, who...
Yeah, Duffy on the phone to the coach. I think he'd be getting some positive feedback. It wasn't his first half, and he's had a couple of really nice moments at the start of this half, so good comeback from him.
Laurie to Spargo to Baldy. They're all getting involved here. Billings to finish it off. Not quite. Kempfield made a contest. Off hands through for a behind. That was crisp, wasn't it, out of the centre from the Demons?
We saw that so often in the first half, their ability just to walk the ball out of the centre.
Wilson short, Granger Barras down the line to Binns. He's often a big accumulator at VFL level. It's not a good kick. In the road there is Brown. Gives a hand pass off Baldy. Sweeps it over the top to Hardy. He's had a good start to this quarter. Chips it short. And Laurie takes the mark. He's been impressive so far today. And he can make hay on the scoreboard here. He'll line up from probably about 40 metres out. Slightly worse off than a 45-degree angle.
I've had a few golf references today with the Open being held at the moment.
Yes.
Just with Jackson Binns, it looks like he's got a little bit of sort of putting yips at the moment with his kicking. He's had 3 or 4 turnovers in this game and just looks to be lacking some confidence with that kicking.
Laurie for his 14th possession. Uses the breeze to perfection. Great kick, Bailey Laurie. And the Demons respond straight away. He's got his first. And the margin back out to 9 goals. And that's been the criticism of Jackson Binns, hasn't it? He's a big accumulator, but often Blues fans say he's not the most efficient ball user of all time.
Yeah, and I'm just watching him now, and he knows that he's sort of cursing himself a little. It was just a slow play and a poor turnover, they do work a lot at AFL level now on the mental side of the game. So, with psychologists,
Just got to put it behind him, isn't it?
Yeah, he's got to have the ability to put that out of his mind, stop shaking his head, and just work on the next contest.
Comes with experience, doesn't it, over time? It's amazing how you mature throughout your 20s.
It's funny, like younger players, they might have a shot early in the game and they miss the goal, and then that sort of stays with them for the rest of the game. You've just got to have that mental aptitude to be able to soldier on.
Campbell doing just that, trying to barge his way through. He's tackled. Well, you've had experience, Dan. Would you resonate with that?
I would be the best test case for the most, someone who isn't psychologically right, you would say.
Laurie goes in, tries to get the football out. Here's Cully, head over the footy as per usual, slings the hand pass out. Bonner, it's been good today. Sweeps it over the top to Spargo. Now Baldy, how good has he been? Through the corridor they traverse. Here's a chance now for Cully from 55 metres out. Long kick towards full forward. Going back with the flight there was Hardy. And it was an interesting one-on-one. It's through for a behind. Margin out to 55. For what it's worth, Dan, I think you're quite mentally sound. Charlton to bring it back in. Takes a bounce. Goes short. Good grab from Hayes. He had the pressure coming from behind. He's going to get a 50-metre penalty too. And a good first quarter, Will Hayes. He, speaking of accumulators, has always been that at Smithy's VFL level. He kicks long towards right half forward. Off hands. Good play from Campbell to Bonner. Weave the hips around. Feeds it back. Fullerton. Adams down the line. Not the best of kicks. Wilson with the intercept. He goes short to Hogg. Had a bit of a quieter day today, Darcy Hogg. He had a great game against the Northern Bull Ants about 4 or 5 weeks ago. Drills it inside the 50. That's a good kick. Finds a target at centre half forward. This is Vickery. He's waiting for maybe a hand pass option, but he's going to get some penetration on the kick from 55 metres out. It fades wide. Payer almost between two demons. Here's a chance for Binns. Hooks it back towards the hot spot. Couple of big flyers there. They all went early. Free kick is going to come back. And it's going to go the way of the Demons. I think it was Hayes that went the early crow, to use the racing parlance.
Very early, yep.
And it'll be Baldy to take it. How good has Riley Baldy been today, Dan?
He's very accomplished. He plays the game in the right manner, Riley Baldy. He's tough at it.
He's had 14 possessions, but he's been very efficient each time he's had it. It's in the middle of the ground. Johnson picks the ball up, using his brute strength. Free kick, holding the ball. I think it was Verrill who was taken. In fact, it was Baldy who was taken.
We give him a wrap and then he tries to take someone on and gets tackled.
So Wilson to take it. There's any moments today. Billy Wilson has had to work hard in defence. Good running player. It's called to play on. Chips it short to Camporelli. So Lucas Camporelli, brother Ben, of course, out due to suspension. Kick inside the 50, drops short, and Fullerton takes the mark. So here's a chance now for the Demons to clear. Cully goes long towards Spargo. Good, well-weighted kick, wasn't it? Spargo 75 metres out, goes laterally inboard to Billings. He's got a couple of options at half forward. Billings wants the leaders to come at him, and they do. Good pass. And the mark taken by Mitch Hardy, who can line up from the similar spot in which he had a shot 5 minutes ago. 40 out on an acute angle. Well, that was good presentation there from Hardy. He can be a midfielder who can also play as a bit of a virtuoso key forward. He goes back into Billings.
He's a very handy player to have. Can kick multiple goals and also have big numbers in the midfield if he plays there. But just another example of a chain of uncontested marks and lack of pressure being able to be put on the Casey team today by Carlton.
Jack Billings will line up from 47 metres out. The kick is superb. The result even better. Great kick from Jack Billings. He's got his first, and the annihilation continues at Casey. Margin out to 61 points, if you don't mind. Not even halfway through the third term. Well, what do Carlton do from here, Dan?
Oh, they've just got to compete. Maybe when they win the ball, just hold on to it as long as they can and take the speed out of the game, chip it around a bit, change the angles up. I was just reflecting on Jack Billings' 172 AFL games, and obviously he'd probably be disappointed not being able to have a crack at it this year, but from what I've seen in the VFL this year, he's had a good attitude. He's been playing wing, midfield, and been getting some nice numbers, and looks like he's shown some real leadership as well this year.
Maybe a bit of an internal pressure taken off himself as a result too. It's interesting how that can work sometimes. Had a lot of pressure on him as a high draft pick at St Kilda. This is Cross. Speak of the devil. Here's Billings. He's got Woden short. He's going to go inboard to Spargo. So many players forward to the play here for the Demons. Spargo. Probing kick inside the 50. Kempfield flies. Couldn't take the mark. Spills out the back and Hardy sees it out in the forward pocket.
As soon as they win the ball, their spread has been so noticeable today with Casey. They take off.
61 points the margin. Quite right, Dan. Always got a looping player over the top. Farrell taps it down. Boyd besieged upon there by Woden, and a ball up.
Would be difficult for Carlton. I know they've had, their team diluted and they had 3 injuries in the AFL, and guys like Frankie Evans, who at this level is a really, really good player and a strong body.
And that's the gulf, isn't it, between the two lists today? We should mention that for context. In terms of the quality of players available. So the ball up. Verrill wins it down. Woden, gang tackle. Verrill again, the big man. Kick smothered. Spargo went without it. Kick out of the congestion from Farinado going around the corner. Charlton did do by Cully. Hayes with the hand pass to Hamilton. Left foot kick around the corner. Kirkwood Scott. Bit of a fresh air shot, but it works out okay. Bonner to Billings, to Woden, to Baldy. He's capable from here. Kicking towards the pocket. Mentha will try and run onto this one. It bounces on its point. Petty, very clever tap. Kick around the corner. Woden didn't get enough purchase on it. Good tackle from Petty, and that's holding the ball.
That's just lack of game experience, I think, from Matt Duffy there.
Well, Harrison Petty, of course, coming back after that incident against the Gold Coast Suns. He's kicked a goal already. So his fair share of concussion issues could line up for yet another major. He should nail it from here. 20 metres out, 45-degree angle. Petty spears it through. He's got his second. Good signs for Demons fans out there. He's presented pretty well today. And he's kicked a couple to boot as well. And the margin looking ever more ugly for the Blues, 67 points. What's the old saying from Tom Petty? Don't back down.
Stand my ground.
Yep.
Just having a look for big Harry Lemmy out there. I don't know if you've called his name in this third quarter, unless he's playing back. No, I'm thinking he might have been put on ice. Hopefully not an injury.
Yep.
In fact, is that him? If we have it, we can see the box there. He's got a tracksuit top on. I think that might be him. So,
yes.
Fingers crossed for Blues fans. It's just maybe a precautionary or a rest up or something of that nature. So, hopefully no injury for Harry Lemmy.
So back in the middle, Billings, Woden. They're just sharing it around at the moment. Verrill to Mentha to Laurie, drills it inside the 50. This is textbook. As textbook as it gets. And on the end of it, once again, there's Mitch Hardy who can go back and shoot for yet another 25 out directly in front. Well, it's becoming a bit too easy now. He's going for his second. Presented well, taken a few marks inside 50 this quarter. That's to bring up the tum for Casey. And he pops it through. Hardy kicks another one for the Demons. And it's becoming a procession, 15-10 to 4-3. What do you make of Mitch Hardy? He's a player, of course, who started Geelong at VFL level. Pretty versatile type of player.
I think he's an excellent VFL player. I would have loved to see him get an opportunity with Geelong and maybe just show his wares.
It's a bit hard to crack into that Geelong side, though, isn't it? Particularly in the midfield area.
Well, I think at AFL level, you really need an elite trait, don't you? And we know Mitch Hardy can win enough of the footy and he can drift forward and kick a goal. But would that have been transferable at AFL level? I just don't know.
So back in the middle, Spargo, Billings wins the clearance for the Demons. Kick inside the 50. Good presentation this time from Kempfield, who was looming up ominously. And this will be another set shot for the Demons inside the 50. It's a very promising type, Luca Kempfield, and he could line up from probably 43 metres out on a slight angle.
It's becoming a little bit like a junior game of footy where you see a dominant side just take the ball out of the centre.
Well, the Blues' body language just isn't there at the moment, is it? They've got the hands on the hips.
Well, we know they're young and inexperienced, and they're hoping that guys like Hayes.
Kempfield on the runway. Rinse and repeat for the Demons. Kempfield joins the party. He's got his first. And the margin now is becoming eye-watering, 79 points.
So it's your Ramshaws and Hayes and these sort of guys who've played a bit of footy, Jordan Boyd, who just need to show some leadership right now. This is getting out of control. 79 points, 18 minutes into the third quarter. That's a big margin in a VFL game.
16-10 to 4-3. I think they just got to get their hands on the footy like they did late in the second term, kick the ball around, just to stifle the momentum of the opposition. You don't want it to get to a point like it did against Richmond on this ground for Casey, where Casey ran away to a 118-point win.
Well, the mids right now are Flynn, Riley, Ramshaw, Dotsy and Ferranato. So, you haven't heard of those names if you're Carlton fans unless you follow the VFL. So, good VFL players, and they just need to be able to create a contest. And here's a little win for them out of the midfield.
Dozzy wins the clearance, kick inside the 50. Off hands, chance for Warburton, stripped to the footy. Howes gives a hand pass back. Kick around the corner from Fullerton is hoisted high. Oh, gee, that was a heavy collision. Hamilton did well going back with the flight. Charlson to Dozzy, chips it back. Not quite the required meterage. Ferranato sweeps the hand pass over the top. Hamilton again did well. Heard the voice out the back door. Ramshaw, the skipper. Kick smothered off the boot. Campbell has gone into defence. Slaps it out to Smith, the skipper. Feeds it off. Bonner. Another possession for him. Kick to a 1-on-3 in favour of the Blues. Phillips taps it down. Riley just got the hand pass away. Boyd works it out well. Phillips. Hacking kick really to no one. And the mark taken there by Howes on right half back.
Tajwai Woden's really sore after a few contests there, and he's being attended to by a trainer. Hunched over.
Yeah, it looks like he's struggling a little bit. He's walking but on his haunches at the moment, so maybe he caught one in the ribs potentially. I think the umpire just holding him up so he can come off the ground, Tajwai Woden. Just gasping for a bit of air. Well, it's just an ever-present reminder of the risks footballers put themselves under. Been hard at work. He had a very good second term in particular, Tajwai Woden. Took a couple of marks inside 50. He's been a consistent player on the ball for the last couple of years for the Demons. So back underway again. Smith long to Johnson. Another mark. Haven't seen him as much this quarter. Shows you the flexibility the Demons have. Spargo. Kick towards half forward is a poor one. Straight down the throat of Dozzy. He's had a good last couple of minutes. Well, Woden looks to be recovering a little bit on the bench, which is good in the sense that he's not in the hands of the trainers, just going by himself to the interchange bench now. So hopefully that's a good sign. Camporelli, meantime, gives it to Hamilton. Hacks it on the boot. Here's Adams. Jed Adams goes laterally to Cully at centre half back. Now they can use the open side here, the Demons. Cully elects to go into the corridor. Laurie wasn't looking. And maybe should have realised that he had his back turned, and Monahan takes the mark.
If there's a question mark on Cully's game. It might be around his kicking. I love what he's done in close today.
Monahan drives it long inside the 50. Yep. Adams in from the side. Free kick for a shove out. It's going the way of the Blues, and I think Harvey will take it. So Harvey will be the beneficiary here. Dane Harvey had a good game against the Northern Bull Ants, Stan, probably about 5 or 6 weeks ago. Led out pretty well, kicked a couple of goals.
Plays for Fitzroy in the, I think he's in the amateur comp, isn't he? In the B grade amateurs, I think, Fitzroy.
And Brunswick Street Oval.
He might have actually gone to A grade at one stage, but a couple of really nice players playing in the VFL from Fitzroy.
Harvey relishing a bit more responsibility with Lemmy off the ground from 41 metres out. He puts it through. So a goal, a much needed one for the Blues. They're 5-3, Casey a 16-10. Well, he's got some capability about him, doesn't he, as a potential key forward. He can certainly take a high mark, can build up a bit of bulk, build up the presentation as well.
I know he's a prolific goal kicker when he's playing for Fitzroy, and he has been able to come into this Carlton side at times and play a nice role for them.
So the margin currently at 73, 16-10 to 5-3. We're building up towards three-quarter time here at Casey Fields. Good healthy crowd have stayed around, which is good to see, even though it's a bit of a one-sided encounter at the moment. There's another warning again. So back in the middle. Casey have dominated since quarter time, it's fair to say. Been in front for much of the day in general. I think we're going to get that recalled. Just having a look at the leading possession winners, Dan. Riley Bonner's had 23. Billings has really lifted his output this quarter, 22. Then you got Deacon Smith with 17. Billy Wilson's had 17 for the Blues, who's a designated kicker. Campbell will get the free kick for the Demons. Probing kick inside the 50. Kempfield will float in from the side. Phillips is going to be paid the mark. Goes short to Charlson. Just holding things up for the Blues. Charlson draws the player, hand pass to Vickeries, confronted by Brown. Back to Charlson with the 1-2. Now Hayes, good ball handling from Will Hayes. Gives it off to Ramshaw, he slips over. Back to Hogg, who slips over. Back to Ramshaw. They're getting confronted. Wilson, Ramshaw, good persistence from the Blues. Kick out wide to Nelson. That was a well-weighted kick. Here's it off. Here's Binns. Kick inside 50. Almost the mark taken there by Phipps Parsons. Haven't seen much of him today. Fullerton out the back door. Cully tackled there by Ramshaw. We'll have a ball up 55 out for the Blues goal.
It was unconventional off half-back by Charlson, but they probably need to do something a little bit different to be able to penetrate this Casey defence.
Help the stat sheet as well. Baldy, floating kick towards Johnson. Look at that. That was a floater. That's harder than it looks.
I think he's got his confidence up and now he's clunking everything, Johnson.
He's a confidence player. We've seen that over the years. Kicked 4 goals, all of them coming in the first half. And we're seeing a bit of kick-to-kick action here like we did late in the second term for the Demons. They've got the game pretty much sewn up. Adams to Baldy. He's had a good third quarter. Short to the skipper, who's also had a good third quarter. Smith.
Don't be surprised if for the next quarter and a bit they take the sting out of the game, Casey, and share the ball around a bit.
Smith towards half forward. No mark to Riley. Out the back, Phillips, quick hands. Comes out, Camporelli. Riley going back. It's a little bit uncertain. Granger Barras on the right foot. Good chipping kick, and he finds Monahan, the Irishman. At left half back, chips it into the middle. Hogg. Can they stream through the corridor here, the Blues, and kick a goal late in the third term? Son of Matthew, of course, Darcy Hogg. Goes out wide with the kick. Here's Jackson Binns again. He's got Phillips all on his own. Playing zigzag footy here, the Blues. Out wide, Nelson. Drives it towards Warburton. Good fly, almost took the mark. Kicked a goal earlier in the quarter, trying to get the hand pass out. He's claimed and will have a ball up. Couple of decent moments. Hasn't had a lot of the footy, Warburton, but kicked a nice goal earlier in the quarter. One down there by Riley. Warburton with a hand pass. Quick kick from Laurie. Around the corner. Phillips to Hayes. And a bit of a fresh air shot there. Good pressure from Baldy. No one could really gain clean possession. Cully's in there. Comes out. Phillips hacks it inside the 50. And a good repelling mark taken by Fullerton. Goes short to Hardy, who's come up the ground. Now they can progress through the corridor here. Bonner, look at this. Such an open 50. Petty over the top. Now a big chance for Paddy Cross. He's got plenty of space to work with. His kick is a straight. That's gone out on the full. He was pressured by Camporelli late.
I think Flynn Riley can hold his head up today. He's had the 9 disposals, the ruckman, 4 marks and 13 hit-outs. Probably needs to have another summer or two in the gym to really compete against the wiser and stronger ruckman, but he's got some competency in the air, backs himself.
Well, just by comparison, Campbell's had 19 hit-outs and Verrill 15 for the Demons, and they've had the advantage, the Demons, of having 2 rucks who can make equal contributions. Here he is. Riley with a hand pass to Warburton. Here's an open 50. We'll kick into the path of Harvey. Can he run into this one? Well, he got the kind bounce at the end. Can he swing round? He gives a hand pass off to Hogg, who straightens up from 30 and misses to the left.
Jackson Binns was in like Flynn. If he had given him the handball there, Hogg, he was on his own there, screaming for the footy, but Hogg decided to have a shot on goal. But a nice piece of play there. Nice kick by Payer, and Riley involved again.
Affects the spoil. Good to see a lot of kids in attendance today as well. A lot of young families in this area in the outer southeast.
Well, I've called a few games here this year, and maybe it's the time or the weather, but today the crowd has been excellent. You can usually tell when you go to get a hot dog at half time and there's 10 or 15 deep.
Usually the biggest crowd here is when Collingwood play here in the VFL on the King's birthday weekend. Johnson almost. Gets the hand pass out the back. Hardy. Good hands back to Johnson. Petty. Good dexterity. Gets the hand pass off to Billings. 49 metres out.
Kick.
Very good kick. Just weighted it perfectly, didn't he, on that occasion? He didn't blaze away. It was sort of almost on the outside of the boot. And Kempfield leading out takes the mark.
And they're the kicks that frustrate the defenders, where they just change it.
Subtly.
Change the angle a little bit. Yeah, the subtle, right at that last second, just changing the angle of the kick.
That separates, constant AFL standard to VFL standard, isn't it?
Yeah, you look at some of the great, or the really strong AFL teams right now, and you look at, say, a Collingwood and some of their players' ability to turn on a dime and hit that short 15, 25 metre kick when they look like they're under pressure.
Kempfield from 40 metres out. Sneaks it home for the Demons. He's got another one. That's his second. Well, this is almost goal kicking practice for the Demons at the moment.
It's probably not... it's going to be difficult to assess Luca Kentfield's game, mainly due to the opposition and the way the ball's coming in. But he's had some good moments. He looks like he's got some natural forward ability about him and knows when to lead and when to compete.
Pretty nimble player for his size too. Seen him crumb a couple of times and kick a couple of goals in the past. 17-10 to 5, 4 3/4 time siren not far away.
Have a look here. Monaghan, there'll be a warning here, I would think.
Seen a few of those, haven't we?
Yep.
Yep. So, back in the middle. That margin at 78 points. Could well blow out to beyond 100 if Casey get on a roll in the last quarter. There's a siren for 3/4 time at Casey Fields. The Demons are in total control. 17-10, 112. They lead Boyd off the ground. Riley just hacks it inside 50 for the Blues. Well, that was almost a King Solomon situation. Cutting in half. Fullerton had maybe the greater piece of it. Takes the mark. Goes to Baldy. It's been good since half time. Sweeps the hand pass onto the run of Smith. Retracts back to Brown, who's very speedy, as we know, kind of Brown. To Bonner, to Hardy. 65 metres out from goal. Pulls the kick towards Petty. Free kick.
The ground.
A bit of a hold, according to the umpire. I think it's going the Demons' way. It'll be taken by the debutant, Ferraro. Could go in for his second for the day on debut.
I think it was against Will Hayes again. I think he gave away a 50 earlier on, but there wasn't too much in that, really. But just another example of their ability to just chain the ball out without much pressure.
So Ferraro, man from Dingley, St Bede's Mentone. Kicked a goal earlier in his debut game. This for his second from 40 metres out. Good kick, straight over the goal umpire's hat. A memorable debut for Jack Ferraro. He's got his second.
Hopefully he gets another opportunity this year. He's come in and played his role, kicked 2 nice goals. Go back to his mates, Dingley, and
say, look at me.
Yeah, be a good feeling.
Of course, Dingley is where the home base for Hawthorn is going to be. They've completed basically that new home base. I think there's still a few finishing touches, but they'll make the move over from Waverley Park, and Dingley will be Hawthorn's new home.
Well, on that topic, Casey Demons, or Melbourne, also having some change soon with their Caulfield location.
Yeah, they've been playing a lot at Gosh's Paddock, and Amy Park is where a lot of their bases are, of course. Here's Campbell. They've trained a bit out here. Look at that. Back turn from Laurie was superb. Kick by Laurie towards Hardy. From behind he was set. Couldn't quite take the mark, and it's going to go the way of the Blues here. Will Hayes this time will get the free kick. So Hayes to the broadcast side. He'll look here for Warburton. Couldn't take the mark. Good spoil from Howes. Camporelli back to Warburton. Slight fumble. Well, they can make you pay with a slight fumble, the Demons. Brown to Baldy. Short to Johnson. He's kicked 4 already. Can he go back for number 5? He's an unselfish player. I think he'll try for the pass, or is he going to go back?
Has got a hoof on him.
Yep.
Aiden Johnson. I'll be saying to him, left goalpost. Oh no, here we go.
Goes for the pass. It wasn't really to advantage. Wilson couldn't take the mark. Heavy tackle applied, and we'll have a ball up. So Billings picking himself up. So there's a chance now. Kick around the corner from Laurie towards full forward, and it's spilled over the line there by Phillips. Just having a look around to see if Taj Woden is out there. Of course, he came off with a bit of a heavy knock to his ribs by the looks of it. They might keep him on ice, given the game is beyond doubt. So a throw in, deep in the 4 pocket for the Demons. Campbell maybe slightly winning it down. There's a chance for Billings. Gives it off. Hardy with a snap. And Hardy with the goal. No, he's missed. He was celebrating. He can't believe it. He's got his hands out and cannot believe it.
He's run up to the field umpire and said, you need to overrule that. It's gone through the goals.
They were literally hugging, weren't they? Oh. Done an old Anthony Rocker from the O2 grand final.
The Liberatore Rowan Smith celebration.
But the 97 prelim. My apologies, I was going off his celebration. He was very excited too. Dozzy takes the mark. 18-11 to 5-4. He's got it between half-back and centre wing for the Blues. He's had a reasonable game today, I think, Dozzy. He's had to take a lot of the midfield responsibility.
Yep.
Kick down the line. Adams couldn't take it. Fullerton at the back to Smith. To Bonner. Retracts back. Truck. Goes with the switch-up play. Ferraro takes the mark.
Young Tyson Struck is the son of an ex-teammate of mine, a guy called Peter Struck, who had a lovely left foot on him.
I think Tyson was recruited from Rowville, from memory.
Yep, I know the Strucks are from out that side of town. Peter did play with Dandenong in the VFA for some time, and
the Redlegs.
Then went to Frankston, yeah.
Of course, won the VFA Premiership in 1991, and 3 years later, as you remember, Dan, there were no more in the VFA. Still got the monument there at Shepley Oval.
They had some guys like Jack Marshall and
Frosty Miller,
Sean Mullane, and these sort of guys.
Ferraro inside 50 years. Johnson. He'll go back for goal number 5. Well, I know you're a big fan of him. He's got a great pair of hands. He can take the bullet-like passes with ease, and he's a pretty good kick of the footy.
Well, I was more a fan of him for his competitiveness. I haven't seen him have a game like this, and albeit probably against inferior opposition, but he's actually been dominant today. He doesn't usually have those games where he's dominant. He has the games where he just competes really hard and might break even, and give a great contest. But today he's clunked everything and kicked everything, and he's just hit the posts. So,
not a bad effort from an acute angle. Johnson had kicked 4 goals all in the first half. Didn't kick one in the third term, even when Casey had that flurry of goals. They've had a good spread of contributors today. Boyd to Hayes.
Just the footy factory out there at Werribee, isn't it? The guys who, a lot of them come from the Riverina and then to Werribee. But even Carlton fans saw a Werribee draftee playing for them last night in Flynn Young.
It's a good long kick of the footy, Flynn Young, isn't he? Can absolutely smash it from outside the 60-metre range. Free kick going the way of the Blues, by the way, to be taken by Boyd. But you're quite right, we've seen Sean Manor progress as well. Been a few unlucky ones over the journey too.
Well, the one that's always debated is Dom Brew, who's just a beast at VFL level, loves the physicality of it, loves winning clearance.
Hayes, short to Payer. On debut for the Blues today. Speaking of Werribee, goes short towards Monahan. Maybe a little bit of a hospital pass. Bonner and Charleston having a few words to each other. Well done, Bonner having the last laugh throw in.
Wouldn't mind getting the history of Sam Payer and why he ended up leaving Werribee. He played in a premiership, 9 months ago, 10 months ago, and then he decided to play local football. And I'm not sure the story behind coming back to VFL and playing for Carlton, but I really liked him. I thought he was improving significantly at VFL level, and obviously when you play in a premiership team,
it does rub off around you, doesn't it? Having that communication, fast team around you. Speak of Dom Brew, another one was Tom Gribble, of course, back in the day.
Star.
This is Baldy. Underground hand pass okay to Mentha. Oh, look at that. Kick into the path of Spargo. Did well. Good ball handling skills. Gives the hand pass off to Kelly. 55 out. Chip pass. Couple of players slipping and sliding. Beryl with a hand pass to Spargo from 35 out. Tries to swing it back around the corner towards full forward, and seeing it over for a behind was Ferraro. Casey toying with the Blues at the moment. The margin now at 87. So just having a look at the Blues record for the year. I mean, they were done by 56 points against Southport. I know they have a weaker side today. This is their heaviest loss by far for the year. And it could get even worse. Hand pass went over the head of Baldy. Here's Cully with a handball. Free kick for a push, and I think it's going to be a Demons free. It might be coming back to Cully here. He started with a blaze of glory, didn't he, Jai Cully? Kicked a nice goal early on, something out of nothing from the stoppage. I like his endeavour. Obviously, efficiency is something he can work on, but his endeavour is certainly there.
Look, if he goes up to AFL level, you know he's going to have a crack. He won't lose out in the physicality stakes.
So Cully to make the margin 93 points. He's kicked a goal already from right on the paint. And it's through for a behind to the right. So the margin at 88 points. Finns will take the mark here at right half-back. Rockets it out to Hayes. Hand pass smothered by Kyner Brown, who's shown some good signs this year. Son of Nathan, of course, who used to play for the Demons back in the 90s and 2000s. Laurie receiving from Bonner. Laurie on the left foot. Kicked straight to the hot spots, all Carlton. Pretty heavy work there from Petty, and Granger Barras did not like the attention. They're going throat to throat. We've just got to be a bit careful here. Granger Barras just taking out his frustrations here.
I'm probably with Denver on that a little bit. Harrison Petty just unnecessarily slung him to ground, and when you're, 88 points up, probably don't need to be doing anything which could put selection at jeopardy or what have you.
They didn't have the reversal, so that's a good result for Carlton. Charleston was the target again. Poor kick, just that lack of poise letting them down. Cully, Billings, quick hand pass. Demons player goes down, advantage paid. Hardy trying to break the tackle and weave the hips. He feeds it back to Billings. Good hands, heard the voice of Laurie. Now Howes. Kynan Brown. Hand pass inboard to Laurie. Back to Brown. He's good from this distance range. 52 metres out. Kick towards Johnson. In from the side. Almost stole it in the end. Did well against Binns. Tackle was good from Binns to recover, and he earns himself a free kick.
They're exhausted, Carlton, at the moment. They're really struggling to defend now.
Having a look at the sign on the bench from Carlton, and it's got the red off sign, you know, the one that you use on your laptop. So I wonder if they're just going to take the sting out of the game here. Hayes, poor kick. Straight to Cully, and that's symptomatic of their day. Short pass to Hardy. Well, it's just tough to watch for Blues fans out there, but pleasurable to watch for Casey and Melbourne fans. And Hardy can go back and shoot. He had a goal that he believed he deserved a little bit earlier in the quarter. He has another chance here. So this can make the margin 94 points. Hardy from about 40 metres out, almost directly in front. Pops it through. Can add that to the list. He's kicked a few, and the Demons have kicked more than a few. They've got 19 on the board. 19-14 to 5-4. And we're getting close to that 100-point margin mark.
Big numbers for Mitch Hardy today. 23 disposals and had 6 shots on goal. 3 goals, 3. You know how he can hit the scoreboard. Played mainly forward today.
Yep.
Just knows how to accumulate. Get some big numbers.
Those are good numbers for a guy who's primarily played inside the 450, isn't it?
They are good numbers. But he just knows how to find the footy. That's been probably his number one trait.
So approaching the halfway mark of this final term, the margin now at 94. Casey did win a game by, I think it was 118 points against Richmond earlier this year on this ground. They've defeated Sydney by 94 points as well, Werribee by 76, so they've had some big wins. They're going to get another clearance here.
3 against Boyd here for a 6-6-6 rule.
Billings receiving from Verrill, kick towards centre half forward. Look at them stream forward in numbers. Smith with a hand pass. Baldy a slight fumble. Regathers, gives it back to Brown on the 50. Feeds it back to Verrill. Bit of a tumbling chaos ball. Grabbed by Petty in the one instance. Hand pass to Billings. Now Cully. Feeds it off to Smith. Left foot kick is a tumbler, but it still works out. And Kempfield is on the end of it. He can go back and shoot for his third.
I thought they'd try to take the sting out of the game, Casey, because they were so far in front and maybe just suck up some time and some possession. But they're actually zinging the ball around like it's the start of the first quarter.
As I said, they've accumulated some big wins, and you never know. Given they're fighting for a wild card spot, percentage could be a factor at the end of the season.
Now, they are a side that when they have availability, they'll be very tough to beat.
Kempfield drives it home for his third. And the margin now at 100 points. They can raise the bat 134 to 34 in favour of the Demons.
And I'd suggest they've still got a good 10 or 11 minutes of game time too, so the pain is not over yet for these young Carlton players. A bit stiff, weren't they, with Blake Acres not playing today and taking 3 guys out last week to go up in the AFL, so we knew it was going to be a struggle for them, but probably not a 100-point struggle.
Yeah. I think regardless of the side you put out of the park, when you lose by 100 plus, that's when you've got to look internally, isn't it? Because the body language just isn't there at the moment from the Blues. And a couple of the players with the hands on the hips sort of want to fight it out a little bit when you're trailing by 100 points. Ferranado's high kick inside the 50. Off hands. Payers there. Good tackle by that player on Adams. And we've got a ball up. 2014 to 5-4. sun glistening here. It's been a beautiful winter's day at Casey Field. It's been quite a warm winter, to be honest, and quite dry at certain points. Free kick's been plucked out. It's going to Will Hayes. Well, he's worked hard, I think, Will Hayes. He'd be one player that can hold his head high for the Blues in the sense that his endeavour's been there. He's found a fair bit of the footy. Can he get on the score sheet here? Hayes from 47 metres out, and he has just snuck it in for a behind. So 99 points the margin. One for the Michael Slater fans out there.
Who was it, Matthew Elliott, or was it 199?
Matthew Elliott was 199 at Headingley, 1997. Mark Wall got out for 99 a few times. Greg Blewett, of course, famously once at home.
Shane Warne, was it 99
yes.
or was it 97 or 98 when he was caught by Richardson off a no ball by Dan Vittori?
That's right, in 2001. Now the umpire's picked out a free. I think it's going to come back. It'll go the way of the Blues. Wilson was lurking around. I think he's been all right today as well. Billy Wilson, one to see. It'll be interesting to see how many AFL opportunities he gets as well, Billy Wilson. Broke through for a debut about 4 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago against Port Adelaide.
Well, if they're struggling with anything in the AFL side, Carlton, it's probably ball users, and I think Billy Wilson is actually a reasonable ball user. So the question is, will he be able to adapt that up to a higher level, and also the physicality piece?
Fullerton, kick towards right half back. Chance for Ferraro. The Demons just have so many numbers around this footy. Billings tries to give the hand pass off. Was a little bit errant there for Hardy. And it's over the boundary line. Billings just putting the hand up with the apology. They've still got the red stop sign there. You know, the one they hold up, the cardboard sign at the Carlton bench.
Or does it look like a happy face to me from...
No, that's the power.
Okay.
I don't know whether it's power on or power off. I suppose it doesn't matter when you're trailing by 99 points. Throw in. Gone almost 18 minutes in this last quarter. Struck going in hard for the footy. Demons' intensity's been good in this last term. They could have easily, as you said, put the foot off the accelerator given they were so far in front, but I think they've shown a bit.
Think about how many of these guys are playing for senior spots.
Yep.
So, you've got to do everything right, and, another loss to Melbourne yesterday, so there might be some spots opening up, particularly with finals out of the equation. And how many AFL games are there left? 5, is it?
Yeah, getting there.
About 5 or 6, so some guys, like a Charlie Spargo who's had his injury worries, Aidan Johnson who's played 4 or 5 games in the seniors, Jai Cully who hasn't had his opportunity this year. Do they start looking at these guys to see what their list profile looks like over the next year or so?
It's a fair call, isn't it, whether they decide to rebuild. Hardy, not rebuild, but give further opportunities to those players on the fringe. Laurie kicks it inside the 50. Campbell against 2. Here's a chance for Spargo. Step around the corner. Oh, Binns did well to get a hand to it. Went into the post. And a behind, so the margin back to that even 100-point mark.
Well, looking at a player like Kynan Brown, do they go younger and say, okay, we don't know enough about him at senior level, do we see what he's got to offer? And, do they, instead of, say, a Billings, who has been around the system for so long, they know what he's brought to the table, but they might not decide to go with him again.
Quite right. Lovely goal on this ground. Kynan Brown against Richmond in that 118-point win, straight out of the middle and zooming forward to kick a goal. It was the goal of the week that week, just after Anzac Day. Fullerton, long kick inside the 50. Oh, guess who? Guess who? Johnson takes the mark, and he can go back and shoot for his 5th.
He looks a bit like a Guess Who character, doesn't he, Aidan Johnson? Bald, with a moustache, a male.
Makes him stand out.
It was a good game. Guess Who? Had to narrow it down, didn't you? I think I got that in Hungry Hungry Hippo on my 13th birthday.
Well, Aidan Johnson, I'm thinking it's like a birthday for him today. Kicked 4 goals in the first half. This for number 5. He'd be very deserving of it from 38 metres out. Misses to the right. Does sound better though, doesn't it? 5 goals instead of 4. That's considered a bag, isn't it?
That
5
would have just replicated how dominant he's been if he had to kick that one.
It would have been a true reflection of his game. I mean, to kick 4 goals and a half these days, you don't see it too often.
He's had 10 marks. Most of those would have been contested. 21 disposals and 4 goals too.
Not bad for a guy who's playing in a radius of 25 metres out from the goal face. For a large portion. I know he's come up the ground a few times.
And you see him quite often, whether it's been at AFL or VFL level, play as a pinch-hitting ruckman as well. And he really hasn't done that, I don't think, at all today.
He hasn't had to.
No, well, they've had so many talls out there, haven't they, with Verrill and Campbell.
Wilson to Binns. Now Duffy. Oh, how about that? Petty, cat-like, wasn't he? And gave the hand pass off as well to Brown. That's symptomatic of the day. Brown with the hand pass. He'll get it back with the all 1-2 and chips it short. Good pass at Kentfield. He'll be paid the mark. Copped a bit of attention there from 50. Boyd. And it could well be 50 metres. There's a bit of a to and fro here. Good play from Cross as well to give it back to Brown. Had the presence of mind to do that. Set up Kentfield, who's having a bit of a how do you do there. Well, they've just got to get on with it.
It's like dancing with your sister when you're 101 points up, really. 22-minute mark. There's not much happening in that fracas, is it?
Well, no one's going to bother going on the mark. Now Duffy does. So it'll be a gimme goal for Kentfield. He can rub salt into the Carlton wound. And he's now got 4 himself. He's presented well. That margin now at 107 points.
Yeah. We've spoken a little bit about Matt Duffy today, who, with his mate Rob Monahan, the 2 Irishmen in the back line there for Carlton, and he hasn't played much footy. He had the knee injury and missed a lot of footy, and today he's just had some moments where you say to yourself, it's a learning process. His education of the game will improve as he plays more games, but had some, actually a couple of good moments in the third quarter. Here we go. They're going to give away another 6-6-6. Carlton, their communication as well at times has let them down. Will he give this away? Yes, he will. Another free kick in the middle of the ground. So, yeah, just the thing they would be hoping with Duffy is just game situation and hopefully improving each week.
Petty, almost. Got to the front spot. Shown good signs today. Here's a chance now for Billings. Swings round. Johnson slaps it back. Beach volleyball style. Spargo with a hand pass. A debutant. He got a boot to it, I think. Oh, Ferraro, no. It's touched. He was celebrating as well.
Well, Mitch Hardy first, and now Jack Ferraro questioning the goal umpire's capabilities this quarter.
Did it come off the bootlace? That would have been his third and he kicked that. Wilson down the line. Would have been a good day on debut to kick 3 goals. Fullerton. Gone almost 24 minutes. Hands it back to Bonner. And now wonder now whether they're going to play the chip game here. Just see it out.
Bonner will get about 5 touches in this next couple of minutes, I reckon, if they decide to go that way.
Howes to Fullerton. And Carlton have stacked up their defensive zone, so I think they are going to play a bit of kick-to-kick here, the Demons. Maybe transfer play.
Here he goes.
Howes to Bonner, racking him up. Riley Bonner. He's done the designated kicking out of defence, but he's led all comers on the ground for most of the day. Look at that, incisive pass. Spargo all on his own. Loose checking from the Carlton defence. 65 out. He could easily run to the 50 if he wanted to. He runs to the 60-metre mark. Kicks towards Johnson, and why not? Takes the mark again, one-on-one. And he gets another opportunity to go for goal number 5. And it would be fitting, given his game. And it's a 50-metre penalty. Well, this is undisciplined. So Johnson will get a certain goal here. This will be number 5 for him.
Not sure if that was Lucas Campriali just going through the mark there.
Well, Johnson will get goal number 5. And quite a fitting way to round it out. He kicks it into the wetlands. And that margin builds up even further. Johnson with his 5th, and the margin at 114 points. So if they kick another goal, the Demons, this will be their biggest win for the season in a game in the VFL so far.
been a little undisciplined as well at times, haven't they, Carlton? They've given away a number of frees upfield. They've given 2 or 3 away in the middle of the ground for not their starting positions with the 6-6-6 rule.
So we're going 25 and a half minutes. I wonder how long this quarter's going to go too. Might well be a long one. There has been a lot of... The thing is, though, with set shots, yes, there's a goal kicked or a behind kick, but it does take up a fair bit of time off the clock. 114 points the margin. 22-17 to 5-5. It's been a one-sided story here at Casey Fields. I know the Demons probably have more quality in their lineup, but I don't think we expected, given a wild card spot could be on the line, I don't think we expected this much of a differential. Verrill wins it down to Mentha with consummate ease and with contempt. Drills it inside the 50. Johnson at the back. Taps it on cleverly to Cross. Picks it up. He's tackled by Charlson and holding the ball. So well done from Charlson. Good endeavour there for the Blues.
So they've had 39 scoring shots, Casey, and 59 inside 50. So that's, what's my maths on that? Nearly 2 out of every 3 inside 50s they're scoring.
Good mark from Cully. In from the side. Almost stole that out of the hands. Granger Barras is wearing Cully's headband. How about that?
Very good. A good moment.
I like that. At least he didn't throw it away like Tony Bahaja or Jeff Ablett back in the day with Bruce Dool. Here's Kirkwood Scott, who had a good first half. That's a clever kick on the outside of the boot. Mentha, can he join the party? Kick smothered. Well done from Charlson. Off to Camporelli. Kicks it out wide. And the mark taken there by Cooper Hamilton on debut for the Blues today. Goes short, Vickery. Now they could transfer play on the outer side, the Blues. Can they end on a bit of a high here? It's like when you have a bad meal and you find a bit of dessert at the end. Little kick forward inside the 50 from Dozzy. And Payer, who's on debut for the Blues today, can enter the score sheet. He's played a lot in defence today, but he's played in the last quarter in attack. And this will be a good opportunity for him to make his mark.
Probably their best passage of play for the day, the Blues. Waltzing it from deep in defence to 10 seconds later, Sam Payer having a shot for goal.
Former Werribee player, of course. Played a lot of defence today, now in attack. Can he kick the goal from 40 metres out? Misses to the right. Just a minor score. So the margin at 113 points. 22-17 to 5-6. So trundling out of defence is Bonner. Another disposal for him. Gives it off. Adams. Long down the line. Is there a screamer coming from Kempfield? Not quite. That goes out of play. It looks like they're waving the 2-minute mark on the bench for Carlton. So be a couple of minutes remaining.
I've been impressed with Kentfield's desire to actually jump at the footy and compete.
And he's grown in confidence, I think, as the game has worn on, hasn't he? Dozzy. Good hands to Hogg. Now Ferronato. Drives it inside the 50. It's all Demons here around the footy. Unless Adams gets a bad bounce, which he does. It sits for Warburton, and Warburton takes advantage with a goal. His second. Well, you need a bit of good fortune sometimes. It hasn't been their day, the Blues, but that's one bit of good fortune for them. And Warburton, with his second goal, becomes the only multiple goal scorer on the ground for the Blues.
He spent a bit of time in Melbourne, did Ollie Warburton. Caulfield Grammar, I think it was. He's originally a Shepparton boy, playing footy for the Shepparton Swans.
Isn't that where Josh Rochelli's from, out Shepparton way as well, I think? Not sure if he was from the Swans, but same sort of region in recent times.
I know Stephen Tingo was from Shepparton.
Yes, former Melbourne player. He went to the Swans and didn't play a senior game for them. It was very good. Just had a lot of injuries, which belied his ability. He was very good. Verrill kick towards centre half forward. I think Wilson may have been interfered with there, and he'll get the free kick at centre half back. So 30-minute mark. There'll be less than a couple of minutes remaining.
Mitch Hardy's very entertaining to watch. He loves to query the umpire's decision.
Duffy.
Oh, jeez. He's kicked it out into the crowd.
Well, Another unforced error for the Blues. Brown's got it, the opposing 41. No one bothering to stand the mark, so he's just going to waltz towards the 50 here. Drill it inside. And on the end of it, Harrison Petty takes the mark. And he could go back and shoot for another major. It's been a successful return for him. There's the siren. And it's been an obliteration at Casey Fields. A margin beyond 100 points. The Demons absolutely slaying the Blues today. And Petty can put the sauce on the sausage. Going for his third. And has had to overcome a few obstacles in recent weeks. From 40 metres out, starts at left and it stays there. So it's only behind, effectively. That brings up the 150 for the Demons. 22-18, 150 to Carlton, 6-6-42. A 108-point win for the Demons at Casey Fields. Dan Winkle, it's been a pleasure as always.
Thank you, Damien, and just a dominant performance, wasn't it, by the Casey Demons over a young Carlton side. The signs looked ominous early towards the end of that first quarter when the game really started to open up.
So a massive 108-point win for Casey over the Blues. Hope you